right, we're back. Danny Cut, and today we are reacting to Marvel X-Men news coming out of D23. We're going to talk about Green Lantern. We're going to talk about whatever else we want to talk about. It's been a while. I'm a little bit rusty, but we are joined by my boy, DC Boy, BOII. Check out his gaming channel. He posts as much as he can. And we also got Alfred in the house. His camera goes from 1080 from 1P to IMAX. So he's back in the house. All right, guys, let's start off with the Marvel / X-Men D23 news and casting. Now, I want to state this for the record. The official castings or the official announcements coming out of D23 are not happening for another. It's 6:45 p.m. Eastern, around 9:45, 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be getting the news coming out of California, which is about 6 p.m., 7 p.m. their time. But some of these castings and news are about as confirmed as can be without being confirmed. Okay, so let's start off with Chris Abbott playing the legendary Professor X. How do you guys feel about this actor playing Professor X? Of course, they put him with a picture with a full head of hair. Don't get it, but I guess that's the way his hair is right now. How do you feel about the iconic Patrick Stewart no longer playing Professor X? Babe, I just started, okay? Cool. All right, so how do you guys feel about this new actor, young guy, he's probably in his 40s, playing the iconic Professor X? Let's start with Alfie.
Yeah, so here's the thing about X-Men. It's like, I feel like you don't have to be like a super great actor to be like part of X-Men films. Just because it's always an ensemble. Like you never really have more than maybe 8-9 minutes of screen time at a time. So I think he'll do fine. I think he's a good actor. Was he Craven? Was he the one in Craven?
I'm not sure.
He was in Craven, yes. He was the foreigner.
Okay. So like
Craven, I fell asleep.
Yeah. You weren't craving it. Okay.
No, he's 40 years old. He's my age. That's cool.
Yeah.
That was a good one. You weren't craving it?
No, I was not craving it. And he wasn't Craven the Hunter. Real quick, Alfie, sorry to interrupt. He was in Wolfman. He was also in a little horror film that I do like. It's called It Comes at Night. Okay. Yeah, he's pretty good in that movie. So yeah, that's pretty much what he's been in. Go ahead. Sorry, Alfie.
No, that's no problem. So what's unique to me here is the age of which he is. So that's going to show their plans moving forward and where the X-Men is at coming into the universe. So, you know, that answers some of the questions of where they're going to be positioned. But I think he'll do fine. As long as the stories are good, he's going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
All right. Awesome. DC Boy, tell me, do you think he looks the part? Do you think he has that savviness that a Patrick Stewart had? You know, very smooth, no pun intended. I know he's in the wheelchair, but what do you think? Do you think Chris Abbott is a good selection for Professor X?
Okay. I'm going to just straight out say I've never seen this guy in anything. I'm looking at his filmography here. Yeah, Wolfman, never seen it. Craven, don't care for it, never seen it. Bring Them Down, haven't seen it. So all these movies, again, I was really scrolling down the list to see if there's anything that I've seen him in, and I really haven't. His face is not familiar to me. But this is something that I actually like. I like that they're casting unknowns, people that I haven't seen in movies before. It makes it a little bit more believable in the story, whatever story they end up going with. And yeah, it's funny you mentioned the full set of hair. I'd like to see him bald at some point, just to see just how much he looks like the character. I mean, I'm sure he's gonna do fine. He's middle-aged. Professor X is usually middle-aged to a little bit older. I thought Sir Patrick Stewart was the ultimate casting. I mean, up there with like Ian McKellen as Gandalf to me, and Magneto, and so yeah, I think it's gonna be fine, man. We'll see. We shall see.
Hey, look, I guys, you know, I'm not the comic expert here on the show. I'm more of the drama horror guy. But for me, again, when it's an unknown, and I'm not going to say that Chris Abbott is an unknown. He does have a bunch of film credits. He's been in movies, but he's not an A-list actor. I like the fact that he's playing, obviously Professor X is disabled. We're going to see if he can play that. What Patrick Stewart did brilliantly playing Professor X was in the subtleties. We'll see if Chris Abbott can do that. It's not a very a role where you have to be big and loud and like playing the Hulk or there's not a lot of physicality in Professor X.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do too much.
Yeah, it's not too much. It's a very subtle role. Again, Patrick Stewart's one of the greatest actors that ever lived. He will be missed. I'm sure it's going to be a very emotional seeing him in Doomsday and all that. So again, I'm excited. They're going with the relatively unknown actors. And again, he looks the part. I'm glad they put him with a full head of hair, so I can't really tell. But either way, I'm excited for the role. Next up, let's talk about the second casting that is looking like it's pretty set in stone, and that's going to be Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister. Now, before I ask you guys, what do you think about Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister? There you have him right there. What do you guys think of Adam Driver? Reportedly has been cast. Now, guys, X-Men Updates is a very big X account. There you go. As Mr. Sinister. We're going to start with Alfie. Do you think he looks the part? Yes or no?
Yeah, actually, the only thing is that in the cartoons, the way that he's like Mr. Sinister is drawn, it's like usually a bigger buff guy. Adam Driver's usually he's tall, but he's like a lot skinnier, so he's a lot more slimmed down.
He was buff. He was buff in Star Wars, I think.
Yeah, but not like like Tom Hardy or something of that nature. And obviously, I think he's going to fit this role. The way that he acts and performs in the Star Wars movies, it could be very similar to that. And the hair is going to help. Obviously, Mr. Sinister has long hair. Hair is going to already naturally be here, so there's no wacky wigs or anything like that you have to worry about. And Mr. Sinister is a great character that has not really had, for my knowledge, in like at least a successful in real life like motion picture movie. Yeah. So this is going to be interesting to see how they make this happen. And then of course, the questions are arising here with the MCU is how they're going to merge these two worlds of X-Men, because Mr. Sinister in the comics, he is from the 19th century, I think, with Darwin, and his whole thing was obsession about the mutant gene and creating a better evolution of humanity. So that's his thing, and then Apocalypse obviously is part of his origin story. So it's going to be interesting how they get this into the MCU without, obviously the acknowledgement of why haven't they been seen before with the big events that have happened on this earth. So I think it's a very good casting. I think he fits the role. I'm excited to see this character and see what they do with it. Something new. Finally, we get Adam Driver in something. I haven't seen Adam Driver in a while, I feel like. So I kind of like seeing him back in the game here.
Okay, sweet. Good one. DC boy, what do you think about Mr. Sinister, Adam Driver?
Yeah, I think this is a great casting. I love Adam Driver. I think he's a great very underrated actor. And the character itself, I'm not too familiar with. I know he's a supervillain. I'm not too familiar with his powers or anything like that. But just from what I'm seeing here, I think they can do a lot of interesting things, especially with Adam Driver being that he's got the dark hair already, so maybe put a little makeup on him, get him, put him on some TRT and let him just do his thing, but we'll see, man. We'll see. I think this is a great casting. I'm interested and I can't wait to see him do his thing.
All right, Alfie, I think he's having a little bit of a technical issue, so I'm sure he'll be back. Guys, let me read for you real quick. Just if you don't know who Mr. Sinister is, and again, not all there we go, got Alfie back. Not everybody, obviously, that goes to see these movies understands every character and what their powers are and so forth. So I'm going to read just real quick off the Gemini who Mr. Sinister is, and then really quick I'm going to read to you his powers, and we'll move on. So Mr. Sinister is Dr. Nathaniel Essex. He is one of the most enduring, theatrical, manipulative villains in Marvel's X-Men mythos, created by Chris Claremont and Mark Silvestri in 1987. He stands along people like Magneto and Apocalypse. Conquers like Apocalypse. Okay. His powers. I don't know this guy's powers. Cellular regeneration, immortality, telepathy, telekinesis, shape-shifting, destiny control, energy protection, genius level intellect. All right, so it's unbeatable. Okay, so let's move on.
That's almost every X-Men Omega character is unbeatable. It's like you can't touch them. They do everything.
Yeah. So he's basically Thanos on steroids. All right.
He can regenerate from fatal injuries, fatal dismemberment, and reconstitute himself into new clone bodies. High-level mental manipulation. So there goes Professor X. Mind blasts. Okay, Professor X done. And powerful kinetic force fields. Complete mastery of over physical form. And man, a good fight would be like with him and Doctor Strange, right? Or no? I'll probably destroy Doctor Strange. Complete mastery over his physical form and cellular level. Wow, this guy is like unbeatable.
And really quick, just to touch on Adam Driver. Adam Driver's already been a supervillain as Kylo Ren. Yeah. So I think he's going to fit the bill, kind of, remaining in that kind of villainy kind of role, even though, not to talk about Star Wars, but he kind of shifts a little bit there at the end anyways, not to be the dead bird there. But so we'll see, man. This is an interesting casting.
And look, I like the casting. Adam Driver's a great actor, so I like the casting. Yeah. He even looks like the character. I mean, look at the long hair back like Driver, tall like Driver. And I agree with DC. He's gonna have to buff up if he wants to look like the comic, but I'm sure that they'll work on that. Now I'm looking at my research here because again, guys, I'm learning about comics every day, and I'm getting more into it, to be honest. So Omega level is defined as a mutant whose dominant power is deemed to register or reach an undefinable upper limit of that power specific classification. So Mr. Sinister is not an Omega level mutant. Now, examples of Omega level mutants are Magneto, because of his magnetism there's no limit to it. Another one would be Iceman. Jean Grey, her telepathy is it has no limit. And then finally, another Omega level, which I didn't think she was on Omega level, is Storm, because of her ability to manipulate weather. It has no limits.
It's infinite.
So
right?
It's infinite. So again, surprised. I thought Mr. Sinister would be that. I mean, the guy has every power possible, but
I guess because it's limited. So that's like the way that they define it.
So it's limited. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. So look. We're in on both castings. Let's move on now. All right. So now the next we're gonna go to DC now. We're shifting. The next big rumor out there that is sort of circulating is that Scarlett Johansson is gonna make an appearance in Matt Reeves' Batman Part 2 as Poison Ivy. Sorry, hold on. I'm going to have to cut this out. All right.
I don't think so.
Probably not going to cut it out. Whatever.
I'm going green now.
I love the color change.
All right. So here we have Scarlett Johansson as, obviously these are fan made, but
AI.
We're going to start this time with DC Boy. DC Boy, what do you think about Scarlett Johansson possibly looking like this in the Batman Part 2? Are you in? Are you out? If it does become true.
Yeah. I saw this news this morning and I immediately shared it with you the moment I saw it. Listen, Scarlett Johansson can play a CGI monkey in Planet of the Apes, and she's going to be amazing in it. Okay. So the fact that she's even attached to the Batman in the first place has me excited. So she's obviously making her shift from Marvel to now DC, coming over to the losing team. Weird enough, but still, she is gonna bring her talents to DC because we all know they need it. But the character itself, Poison Ivy, is a little bit of a head scratcher, especially in this kind of setting, in this world that Matt Reeves has kind of created in the Batman. Obviously, we saw the show with the Penguin, which was fantastic. Obviously, great job done by Colin Farrell in that role. You can't even tell it's him.
No.
So they're going to be using, I would think, if the rumor is true, some prosthetics into some things like that. But one thing that Matt Reeves hasn't done yet in this world is kind of touch on the supernatural. And anybody who knows Poison Ivy and is familiar with her powers, she does some weird stuff. Okay, she does some really weird stuff, and this is kind of that elephant in the room that I think that James Gunn has been having to deal with not including Robert Pattinson's Batman in his world, is because in his world, in the DCU, which is what they brand it as, you have a flying Kryptonian, you have Superman, you have Supergirl. You're not going to have lanterns coming out on Sunday. You have all these things, and Matt Reeves, I'm sure you could surf the internet and find a quote somewhere, but I think he's always wanted to keep his world grounded. This is something, Danny, that I've spoke to you in the past about. I don't know how they're going to make it work. We'll see if the rumor's true. If the rumor's true, let's see how they do it. Let's see how they're able to do Poison Ivy in this world. If it's not true, I'm still, we'd still obviously wonder who the heck she's going to play. Now, if she is playing Poison Ivy, I will say what is it? Batman and Robin, who played Poison Ivy in Batman and Robin?
Uma Thurman.
There you go. Some pretty big shoes to fill, because while that movie was really bad, she actually did a pretty good job for Poison Ivy. So that's all I have to say.
Alfie, tell me, what do you think about Poison Ivy?
Yeah, I agree. It'd be interesting to see how they're gonna put it into the world here. I'm sure they can play it off. It's a comic book movie, man. They'll tell you anything. You got to believe it. Scarlett Johansson, I think, like you said, she's a great actor. She can play anything, really, and she looks the role. And this would actually be kind of like a pretty funny way to continue her career after that sour ending that she had with Marvel, with the contract and the streaming. I
forgot about that.
Yeah. So they left on bad terms, and this would be interesting to see. But Scarlett Johansson, just cast her in anything. People are gonna go watch it just because she's in it. So this is a good step for DC if they need people in the seats, and they obviously need people in the seats when the movie comes out.
Look. Right now, DC is in the dumpsters. Superman was an absolute. It was very mid-level, mid-tier.
It was a very big whatever burger.
Yeah, it was a whatever burger. It's definitely better than Man of Steel. No, I'm just kidding. But that was a whatever burger. Supergirl was a shit burger. So, look, at the end of the day, if I'm more, I got to be honest, I'm more interested in Matt Reeves' DC world or at least Batman than I am James Gunn right now. I was reading here because, again, I know obviously Poison Ivy with the, she has a lot of powers, believe it or not. Naturally immune to all toxins, bacteria, venoms, and man-made poisons. Like, she's pretty strong. So it says here, street-level tactician using pre-planted seeds, wrist-fired thorn darts, and pheromones, and localized vine attacks to dismantle Batman and the Gotham City Police Department. Look, I think she could definitely fit in that dark, gritty world that Matt Reeves has built with the detective Batman and whatnot. I don't know if Scarlett Johansson's good for the role. She definitely has a seductive part down. We all know that. But, she's a good actress. She's underrated. So I'm in if she really is in the Batman part 2, and if she really does become Poison Ivy. And I'm excited for it. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. All right. This question, I don't really know, how much we're going to dive into it, but is the Batman delaying a lot of what Gunn has planned for the universe, the DCU as a whole? I guess DC. Do you want to start with this? Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna read the. Is
yeah,
the
go ahead.
Batman delaying a lot of what Gunn has planned? As far as the Batman, Matt Reeves, correct?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and say your thoughts, please.
Yeah, I brought up this question because I wanted to cover some of this. It's kind of like, the state of DC where we're in. Obviously, Supergirl was the biggest flop for DC in over 25 years. They haven't had a flop like this since Catwoman, Halle Berry's Catwoman, of course. So the reason I bring up this question and I wanted to talk about it a little bit today is because when you're going to begin a world, especially with characters of this magnitude, okay, nobody knows who Clayface is. All right. We got Clayface coming out in a couple months. They dubbed down Lanterns, which is a member of the Justice League, one of the biggest characters in the DC lore. They dubbed it to a TV show. Now, granted, the TV show so far from what we've been seeing is looking like it's going to be pretty good, but still should be a feature film in my opinion. We'll get to that later on. But I think that since Matt Reeves' Batman has been so successful, Warner Brothers is not dumb enough or stupid enough to cancel his Batman. And the fact that James Gunn and Matt Reeves don't want to intertwine his Batman with this world, it's kind of holding back James Gunn in a way where he can't show off his Batman yet. And now you're kind of stuck having to just go with these B characters and kind of start do kind of like a reverse engineering type of thing that that maybe he didn't want to do or wasn't anticipating to do. So when he took the job, though, Batman was up and running already, so he probably should have determined that on his own. But yeah, I think that it's kind of like a little bit of there's an elephant in the room, and you're obviously not going to cancel Robert Pattinson's Batman. So they now have to kind of act on their feet. What are they going to do with the DCU Batman? Are they eventually going to just say F it and bring Robert Pattinson into this world? Again, a lot of the stuff we just talked about, the supernatural, Matt Reeves doesn't want to do any of that. So it's just kind of like, it sucks because as you can see, I'm a huge cheerleader for DC. I want them to succeed. I want them to make good content. I want them to make good movies, good shows, everything. Yeah. And it's just hasn't been that. I wasn't blown away by Superman, and I obviously wasn't blown away by Supergirl. It was actually very underwhelming after watching it a second time on VOD. So it's just, I want this world to succeed in ways that Marvel's obviously succeeding now. Spider-Man's about to, break $2 billion at the box office. And they're just rolling with Doomsday coming out in just a few months. So yeah, I think if to answer the question as a whole, yes, I think the Batman being there and being as successful as it's been with the Penguin and with the first movie making over $750 million, you're kind of stuck with, let's be honest, you're stuck with your Spider-Man of the universe, kind of in neutral and not able to hit that green light yet in this world. So we'll see. If I was the head of the studio, I'd say, hey, you already got Batman rolling. I don't know what you got to do to your script, but you're going to have to introduce him to this DCU, and Robert Pattinson's just going to be the DCU Batman, period. End of story. If I have to fire Matt Reeves, hey, see you little bye, and find there's plenty of other filmmakers. Another thing that we're going to talk about later, that can come into DC and make good Batman movies. So
absolutely. All right. Awesome. Alfred, is the Batman delaying a lot of what Gunn has planned for the universe of the DCU as a whole?
Yeah, I maybe, I think that's part of it, but I think really what's going on here is it's just beyond, the delay of the movies and everything like that. I think it's just the merger that Paramount's having with them right now.
That too.
And I just think that we don't know whose house it is. I think there's too many people involved right now, and too many people in charge right now. Reeves wants to do this, Gunn wants to do this, Paramount's withholding IPs because they don't want to get too big and then affect the merger. It's a very complicated world they're in right now. And at the end of the day, the Batman being delayed definitely does not help Gunn's case to bring out a new Batman now, because it's going to be very, like, DC touched on this before, but it's going to be very confusing as a typical, average moviegoer, not a comic book fan, not an advocate moviegoer, to go see. The Batman Part 2 is coming out in 2028, and I'm getting my first Batman in 6 months. Wait, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, like, chronologically. Like, if you're looking at this from an average eye, and it's a mess right now. DC,
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, Paramount. It's a mess.
Yeah,
They got a clean house. Get one solid leader, and then just go that route. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And if it works, it's great.
Last time, just so you guys, to refresh your guys' memory a little bit, they just canceled for DC being. They just canceled for or 3 TV shows that were kind of not in pre-production yet, but I guess they wanted to greenlight them. Waller, a live-action series following government agent Amanda Waller, and then Paradise Lost, which was about the Amazonians in Themyscira, and then Booster Gold, which was something that was in,
They canceled Booster Gold?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, bro.
You
serious?
And the last time, if you remember, time they canceled something that was close to the merger when WB Discovery merged was the Batgirl movie. And that movie was already in the can. That movie had already filmed and everything.
Yeah. And
they canceled that movie. And what do you know? James Gunn gets hired. James Gunn becomes the head of DCU. Zack Snyder's out. All these other people are pretty much pushed out. The DCU's no more. That terrible Flash movie came out. That terrible Aquaman movie came out. So hey, I'm just pointing that out.
All right. Yeah, it's a mess right now, which is a good point by DC. That's what I'm gonna say. The Batman 2 being delayed, Booster Gold. I mean, I was looking forward to some Booster Gold. And we're not getting it. So it looks like things are in disarray right now. Marvel's cranking it up. They got Avengers Doomsday is gonna be a hit. Spider-Man's a giant hit. So it doesn't look good for James Gunn. Let's move on, because I want to expand more on the other questions, not this one. You guys pretty much covered it. Let's go to the next question. Is James Gunn the right choice for DCU after what you've seen so far? I'm going to start with Alfie. Go ahead.
Is he the right choice? I mean, I don't think there's I don't know if there can be a right choice right now. I think that they're just a mess all around, and they just put a label on this guy and said, "Hey, you're the head of this department," just for publicity. I think maybe at this point, I don't even really think he's really in charge of anything at this point. I think he could, build the stories of Superman and Batman if he had the actual freedom to do it. We've seen them do other movies, and they do well. But can he be the head of the department? That's a whole different ballgame. You're not just a director. You got to steer the whole universe of the characters coming in, what they're saying, how they're doing it, and merge it all together. It's a much, much more difficult task to do. Someone in football terms, someone could be a really good offensive coordinator, but they're not a good head coach.
Mike
so
McDaniel.
I don't.
Boom.
I don't know if he could be
Absolutely
the head coach of the DCU right here.
Yep. All right. Great point, Alfred. Great point. DC, go for it.
Yeah. That was a perfect analogy that you used there with the sports reference. Listen, James Gunn is a good, I wouldn't say great. He's a good filmmaker. Okay. Very good. He created Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the most successful projects and IPs that Marvel has put out. Okay. I haven't been blown away or wowed by anything James Gunn has put out yet. Okay. Let's start from the top. The Suicide Squad. Okay. Okay movie at best for me. This is me. All right. I'm the biggest cheerleader that you guys know for these guys. DC. All right. I live and breathe.
I just noticed you have the hat too. That's all. But go ahead.
Are you the head of the DCU?
All right. Again, bro, I'm very passionate about this stuff. again, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, okay, super whatever. All right, if you're into that whole like John Cena, yeah, he did good as Peacemaker. It was okay, man.
I only saw season 1.
Didn't care for it. I saw season 2 as well, and I was really pushing to finish those episodes. What else? Creature Commandos. Okay, a lot of nuanced characters in there. All right,
Never seen that one.
yeah, or excuse me, a lot of niche characters is the word I wanted to use in there. A lot of people that you don't know, okay, are in that series, and it's an animated series. Not everyone jumps to anime. I definitely don't. What else? Superman. Again, I like Corin Sweat as Batman. He actually looks a lot like Henry Cavill. Okay, he looks a lot like him. Can't hear
Superman. You said Batman.
I'm sorry, Superman.
Yeah.
But again, just an okay movie. It was kind of just whatever. Didn't wow me, didn't blow me away. And then you see what happened with Supergirl, one of the lowest grossing movies in the history of DC.
Box office hit.
Yeah, it's a box office flop. And then you hear about all the behind the scenes, with the director and all that, and him trying to take control. This is the problem. I think James Gunn, if he wants to run the entire DCU, he needs to run the DCU. He doesn't have to direct everything. He doesn't. Enough is enough. That's my biggest thing with James Gunn right now. Stand back, be the Kevin Feige of DCU. Okay? Be the producer. If that's what you're going to do, produce these movies. Listen, James Gunn is a nerd's nerd. All right? This guy lives and breathes comic books. He knows more about comic books and comic book characters than all three of us combined. Okay? He knows his stuff. So produce the movies, create your world, let artists make the movie. Let these directors come in, hire the best that you possibly can. Another question we're going to get to later. All right? And just let them do their thing. You don't have to direct everything. You don't.
Yeah.
Okay? And everything doesn't have to feel like a James Gunn movie. It doesn't. Okay?
Yeah.
So to answer your question, is he the right choice? I'm in the middle with that and I'm leaning more to no, because he wants to control everything, and on top of that, make it his own. And you can't do that. Okay? You can't do that, because you're going to get sidetracked and you're just going to create what we just saw, which was an absolute disaster.
Yeah, good points. As far as I go, I think he is not the right choice. I'm going to explain to you in the last question what I would do with if I'd offer to James Gunn. Of course, he can go do whatever he wants, but he's not the right choice. He is not. He's a great filmmaker. But I think that what happens is that people don't understand is that the real top best of the best filmmakers sometimes can only be really a one-trick pony. You know what I mean? And I think we're seeing that with James Gunn. I think we're seeing that he really is only good for these zany Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy type BC characters. And that's what he's good at. He's not Batman, Superman director. Definitely not Batman. So that's my thought on that. I'm going to expound on these next two. Okay. Can Lanterns, the upcoming HBO series, premieres this Sunday at 9:00. We will be doing right after a show live with us three and a bunch of other people. Can Lanterns save the DCU? DC, I'll start with you. Do you think it'll save the DCU from going under and starting a brand new reboot?
It's got to be incredible. To save the DCU, it's got to be incredible. Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, it sits at an 89% with just about 40 reviews or so from the critics.
Right.
I know we don't read too much into the Rotten Tomato stuff. There's a lot of stuff that has been rated in the 90s, and you end up watching it and it's absolute trash. So, but I'm taking that with a grain of salt, obviously. The first 5 minutes that they just released, I thought was okay. Again, it's only 5 minutes of an hour-long episode, so we will see.
I believe it's 8 episodes this season.
Yeah, 8 episodes. So this Aaron Pierre guy who's going to be playing John Stewart again, looks like a good actor. Looks like he's fitting the bill pretty well. And Kyle Chandler, a little bit older, but he's got kind of that charismatic and funny, you know, kind of, I guess, characteristic that you need for a Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan is a very, funny dude, kind of like a guy, and just I think that Kyle Chandler is actually a good fit. Obviously he's not Ryan Reynolds, but I don't think they don't, they want to they want us to forget that Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. But listen, I would have liked to see him again in the green suit, but just done a little bit of a better kind of take on the character. I thought he was great, actually. I thought Ryan Reynolds was a perfect casting for Green Lantern. And then Nathan Fillion coming back as Guy Gardner. We saw him in Superman. I think that's a fine casting as well. It's not a big deal. But is it going to save the DCU? Listen, it's got to be great. The shows have to be absolutely excellent. It's got to be like, man, I don't even know. It's got to be incredible.
Okay,
but
well,
we'll see.
Yeah, awesome. Before we move on, I wanted to read real quick what
they're
going.
That real quick.
What's up?
Can I give my take on that real quick?
Go ahead.
If the show can save it,
go.
I'm just gonna say this really fast. I don't think it can save the DCU. I think it can sink it, but I don't think it can save it. I think if it's good to great, it keeps it afloat just a little bit longer until we get Man of Tomorrow.
Agree.
That's a good point.
But if it's bad, it's gone. It's done. It's like Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. It's over. If it's good to great, you get like maybe 6 more months to a year.
I think there's more of a conversation that Clayface can either sink or keep the ship afloat, but that obviously hasn't come out yet.
It's just that I don't know how show revenue works. Obviously, the movies it's simple because it's like, you go to the box office, you buy a ticket, you get the money. In shows, it's like people stream it. So how many streams do you need to get money?
They look at the numbers. They look at the new subscribers to HBO Max. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
But if the show is a failure, that means that when season 2 comes out, there's not going to be a lot of people that are going to keep their HBO Max to watch season 2. So they're going to look at that. But I don't think they release those numbers publicly.
Yeah, but that's also already a huge disadvantage because Lanterns is not like a very popular thing. Even like amongst comic book guys, it's like he's like maybe B tier. I slight lean to A, but he hasn't had anything in live action for so long.
I'd argue Green Lantern is an A tier character. He's that big.
But if you were to compare him to like Batman and Superman or Wonder Woman, it's like you think of below of that. So that's where I'm getting at. It's already at a disadvantage because it's not going to draw in new eyes. It's going to retain people and viewership, and then they're in a tough spot. They're a really tough spot to be banking it on this show. On a show is really hard, and if it sucks, it's over. It's done.
Yeah, look, let me read what HBO is going for. It says the tone of HBO's Lanterns is best described as a prestige crime thriller with cosmic underpinnings, often pitched by the creative team as True Detective meets Green Lantern. Rather than an epic space opera filled with CGI alien worlds right out of the gate, the series deliberately grounds itself in a dusty neo-Western mystery set in the middle of America. Couple points here before I say my thoughts. Grounded neo-Western noir over space fantasy. So they're going for like a No Country for Old Men feel. I got the same feeling when I was watching the first 5 minutes, but obviously, I mean, it's not No Country for Old Men.
With True Detective
put your
vibes.
hand down.
Oh, sorry, guys.
I can't see your face.
And you said with True Detective vibes?
Yeah. And it's a gritty buddy cop and generational friction. Fear as an investigation, not just a superpower.
Listen, I think what they're doing is they're keeping it very safe. They're playing it very safe by keeping it a little bit grounded. All right, because obviously it's a TV show. All right, so the budget is a little limited when you're doing a TV show. You don't have the budget of a full feature film. Okay, but again,
and if it has to work within the confines of the movies. Like the movies have to have the bigger things occur, like the
Correct.
bigger events.
Correct. Well, I
So,
think
yeah, it has to be
I
grounded.
think this John Stewart's already confirmed for Man of Tomorrow, so he's going to be in that. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a small piece of a bigger story universe that they're obviously telling. Again, which goes back to the whole Batman thing, and I don't want to get back into it. The things that Matt Reeves doesn't want to be a part of. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Give me.
So what do you think, Danny? Is it gonna save the DCU?
No. So no, I don't. Look, guys, look. You bring up all good points. I think that the show, if the show is Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, Succession, The Bear, if it's Stranger Things, then yeah, it can save. It can at least give it some legs, as they say in the industry.
So like one of the top 5 shows ever created.
Pretty much. That's how bad it is right now.
But that's probably not going to happen.
That's the thing, though. Like, again, Supergirl was so bad. I mean, this movie fucking sucked. Okay. I was just like, I was trying to find good things about it. Now it's coming out that Lobo's complete AI art, yeah, just a mess. Superman, they made him weak and soft, and he's getting beat up and all this, this garbage. It's just like, what are we doing?
And I'm going to say it again. Please, for the love of God Almighty, get rid of Crypto already. Send them off.
Yeah, the dog. I don't give a fuck about the dog.
Send them to a space very far away, to another planet, and put them, with a foster family or something. I don't care, but I'm done with Crypto, guys. I really am.
Yeah,
it's a really tough to mesh him in there in live action.
He's going to have a big part in Man of Tomorrow. He's probably going to be the one that saves the day. Brainiac is going to come down. You're going to see Crypto, flying from outer space into the scene, and boom, and then come on, man.
It's good. It was a good in theory, because
I thought it was fine for a little bit for Superman. Whatever, you have him in there. But I mean, he was literally the plot of Supergirl. I'm like, is this what we're doing?
Hey, full confession, I haven't watched Supergirl yet. I haven't seen it.
It's okay, Alfred. Don't watch it.
No, you know what? I think you should watch it. I think you should. A lot of these conversations that we're having now, you would actually have not be mad about, but you'd actually have more kind of substance to go off of, and especially be able to speak about the things that that we're actually talking about, and it makes just for more conversation, so you would understand why we're so pissed about.
No, I understand, but my opinion wouldn't change much from you guys, and then the numbers speak for themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just tired. I'm just like, listen.
It was a huge flop.
Yeah, like this. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Alfred, but
no. I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There's a Green Lantern in your place right now. All I'm going to tell you is that James Gunn is not the guy to run this. He doesn't have the emotional depth in his film. Yeah, he had it in Guardians 3, which is strange to me. He is a director. Like, if you told me Quentin Tarantino is directing, let's just say Quentin Tarantino is directing, I don't know, he's such a great director. That's a bad choice. Yeah. David Fincher, my favorite director. He's directing Wonder Woman. Not a good choice. If you tell me Batman, then yeah. But I got to see David Fincher with the action, because he's not a big action guy.
He would have been good for Clayface too.
Or for Clayface. Yeah, absolutely. No, wait. Now we're going to have some fun. The last question is where we're going to have some fun. Okay? You ready? Green Lantern, Alfred's place. All right, here we go. So this is what I did real quick when you guys were talking. All right, we're gonna build. Can you guys see that?
Yep.
All right, we're gonna build the DC Dream Team directors. Let's just say we're DC. Now, this is what I did. I looked up the 5 most popular DC comic book characters. Those are there's 6 there. I added Suicide Squad, but if you take out Suicide Squad, those are the top 5 most popular characters. Okay. If we were starting DC, or I was starting DC, I'd come out with these movies. This is how I would do it. Superman and Batman would switch, but we're gonna build our dream team directors. Okay. Now,
so are we building like a universe, or are we just doing individual movies?
we're doing
Like, we're building
individual movies, and you're gonna select a director for each movie. You have endless amount of funds. Obviously, DC does pretty much. They have a lot of debt, but whatever. And we're gonna pretend, right? We're gonna pretend for a second here. Let me get to this. We're gonna pretend for a second that the head of DC, we're able to snag. Okay, so if you get that guy, you're gonna get anybody else you want, pretty much. Okay, so let's.
Oh, that's the head of guy. Okay,
that's the head of DC. Okay, so now us three. Okay, but this is what we're gonna do because this is gonna be the fun part. Us three have to agree on each director for each movie. Okay. Now, if we can't agree, it's a 2-1 vote that has to happen. And if whoever is 2-1 wins, and that is the director for the movie. Okay. All right. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. Let's start.
I'm gonna let you guys lead.
All right. Let's start. You want to start with the big hitters, or you want to go down to the Flash first? Let's go to the Flash.
Let's go bottom up. Yeah, I think that's
bottom up. Bottom up. Okay. And if you guys don't know, I'm using Word. I don't know if you heard about it. All right. So
I thought it was Notepad.
All right. So the Flash director, who would be we had Andy, what's his name? Muschietti?
Yes.
Was the director of the last Flash. DC is not a fan. He gave it a 0 out of 10 because they were catching babies.
No, I gave it a 2 because the best part of that movie was Batman. And the 2 scenes that he's in, or 3, whatever, was the best thing of the movie.
Okay. Now, when you guys think the Flash, Barry Allen, right? Who you see gold, you see red. I'm looking up here, the Flash, sort of, what his traits are. What's a director that you could see telling the Barry Allen story?
Pick me.
Anybody that comes to mind?
Pick me. You guys got to lead on this.
Pick me. Pick me.
All right, so hold on, DC, before you go, real quick. The Flash is more than just a single superhero. It is a mantle passed down across generations, defined by a connection to the Speed Force, an extra-dimensional energy source that fuels velocity and time manipulation.
So good.
Barry Allen was the Silver Age Flash. Go ahead.
All right.
My favorite character, by the way.
The Flash is
nice.
Okay, so the Flash is the fastest character in the DC lore, right? That's
right.
1. Number 2, he deals in the Speed Force, okay, which deals with time travel, right?
Potentially, yeah.
To me, and by the way, this person was actually attached, okay, at one point to direct a Flash movie when they were planning on doing it in the first place, like way before, what's his name? Andy Muschietti. Robert Zemeckis, okay, director of Back to the Future. Okay, he's already dealt with movies that deal with time travel.
Castaway, Forrest Gump.
Okay, so if I had to pick right now and then, my choice for a Flash movie is Robert Zemeckis. Put him in there.
Okay, now I'm going to read something real quick about Barry Allen. As a boy in Central City, Barry's mother, Nora Allen, is mysteriously murdered, and his father, Henry, is wrongfully convicted and imprisoned. Barry becomes he's a forensic scientist for the Central City Police Department, obsessed with solving cold cases. One stormy night, a bolt of lightning crashes through his lab, shattering shelves and chemicals over his body. He discovers he can run faster. So just keep that in mind when you're discovering. So time travel.
Yeah, he does emotions. Obviously, the Flash.
But Robert Zemeckis, Forrest Gump, Castaway, Back to the Future.
Robert Zemeckis
doesn't sound like an action guy.
Let's put him.
We're gonna need some action in there.
That's fine. That's why you hire your crew and you hire people who deal with this type of stuff. Again, Robert Zemeckis was at one point attached to direct the Flash. Okay, and there were creative differences that they didn't agree with, so they went with someone else. Okay, so I get a mind like his. Okay, remember, it's not just action and time travel, whatever. Robert Zemeckis knows how to do a lot of emotion. The Flash is a very emotional character. He's obviously dealing, the way he becomes Flash, he's dealing with a lot of kind of mental trauma, okay, with the fact that his dad is locked up for the murder of his mom, and he's trying to prove all those things, to be, not right, and all this stuff. So I think you get a mind like Robert Zemeckis who can, work with your emotional kind of story in a way, and then listen, he doesn't make big action set pieces and movies that are, but he is the perfect mind, I think, that can get this character.
He'll get the emotional part stuff down.
Absolutely. And listen, nowadays, I mean, everyone uses CGI. Obviously, he's not Christopher Nolan. He's not gonna. There's no way to do Speed Force without using some kind of CG. Yeah. So, it could be done.
And one point here, Nolan can direct one of these movies. I think we all know what we're gonna choose, but that's fine. Okay, so Robert Zemeckis is your pick, DC.
Yes.
Alfie, do you have anybody in mind?
I'm trying to think of the catalog of movies that are like The Flash. There is not many. There's not many characters like him. That's why I like him so much. He just the Speed Force is such like a good tool, and the way that they limit you in the Speed Force is brilliant. Like they have different types of energies that attack you. Obviously, if you alter the past, which we all know the consequences of your presence and your future gets changed. So like it's very restrictive. So it's not something that they can just use to bring back alive someone or change an event, or something like that. So it's amazing. I love The Flash. I can't think of a director that would be like that really stands out for this type of work. I honestly I don't have directors catalogs like that in the back of my head. I would have to like search and really deep dive into it. So I'm not going to debate DC. I don't think it's the greatest choice, but I'll rock with it.
Yeah, Robert Zemeckis, if he was actually tied to doing it, then I'm going to go with DC because he's one of the greatest directors. I mean, you're talking Castaway, Forrest Gump, Back to the Future. You're talking Flight with Denzel Washington. You're talking Captain Phillips with Tom Hanks. I mean, the guys, and Captain Phillips has action. Forrest Gump has action. Now, obviously, it's not comic book action,
right?
But I'm going to agree with DC because I would like to see him do The Flash. And if his parents were unalived, I will. Well, his dad's in prison, and his mom was unalived. I think he can get the emotional component of Barry Allen, and he would be able for sure to get, the action I'm not concerned with because Flash is such a cool character that the action's going to be fine.
Listen, if you're Robert Zemeckis, you come up with a good story, you hire people who are good at, creating these set pieces and creating these action scenes. I don't think that would be a problem at all for him. And he wouldn't be new to action scenes either. I mean, he did Back to the Future. Again, we're talking about a movie that came out in the 80s, but
Go ahead,
for the record, the Flash movie that came out, I actually enjoyed it. I liked it, and I do think that the storytelling was the most true that you could probably get to a real life action to what the Flash story is in the comic books and into the stories without changing too much. And at the time, it's not a perfect movie, obviously, but I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy a lot more than I didn't enjoy it. And the mess that DC was in at the time is pretty much like the mess that they're in right now, almost. Probably worse back then, because you had the changing of the head of the unit, and these people were going to go out, these people were going to come in. So that movie was made and then changed, then edited into a different direction over and over again, like a bunch of different times. So I enjoyed it, and I think a lot of it understood what Flash is as far as using the Speed Force and everything like that. Ezra Miller, really screwed them over. But that's a whole nother story.
All right, so I'm going to read this real quick and we'll move to the next director, but I'm going to go with Zemeckis too because I think he's going to bring that groundness back to the character of Flash that it will need. Look at this. Flashpoint and Multiverse. In an attempt to prevent his mother's death, Barry runs back in time, creating the fractured Flashpoint timeline. Fixing it reshapes the entire DC multiverse, reinforcing the core Flash lesson. Tampering with time always carries a steep cost. Back to the Future is about time. Castaway is about time. Forrest Gump's definitely about time. So he dealt with
done
that.
it before.
He's done it before. So all right, we're rolling with Zemeckis. The next one up. You know what? Screw that. I'm gonna do Suicide Squad first. Then we'll go to Joker. All right, Suicide Squad. You're Christopher Nolan. Right now, we're all Christopher Nolan. We're sitting there. We're the top of the food chain in Hollywood. We can get whoever we want. Alfie, I'll go with you first. Who should we select for the Suicide Squad?
James Gunn.
All right.
You guys are going to disagree with me. I really enjoyed his Suicide Squad version. I think it's a good ensemble. James Gunn, he's a one-trick pony. He's very good at ensembles. He's very good at where it's not just one main character, one protagonist. It's a group of people trying to achieve a goal. He's done it in Scooby-Doo.
Where are you?
Movies are fucking Scooby-Doo. So
all right.
So that probably be my choice, to be honest, because I did enjoy that movie a lot.
All right. I'm gonna give you who I would choose. DC, I'm gonna let you go now, but I'm gonna give you who I would choose if it wasn't James Gunn. So go ahead, DC. I think I just gave away my choice. Go ahead, DC.
You changed this last question up on me a little bit. This guy was gonna be in my list of guys who I would choose to bring over to DC to help them kind of create these stories and stuff. And then when I saw your list, I saw, okay, which one would I attach him to? And I think Suicide Squad would be perfect for this director. And it's the director named George Miller. He directed one of my favorite action movies, Mad Max Fury Road. Mm-hmm. The way that he kind of shoots his action scenes, it's not an ensemble movie, obviously, but it's just a very big kind of, this huge kind of epic story. And one of my favorite movies of all time, in my opinion. I thought Tom Hardy was awesome in it. I thought Charlize Theron was awesome. He brought the best out of those actors in that movie, had some of the best action scenes. And I think that he would be perfect for kind of a very weird take on a bunch of different characters. Suicide Squad is filled with a bunch of, weird names and weird characters, which is why I would see why Alfie picked James Gunn. James Gunn does that very well as well. So yeah, that would be my pick. George Miller, I think he would bring a different kind of, tone and vision for the movie. So that would be my choice.
Okay. I like the George Miller pick. To me, he's a little too old. He's 81 years old.
I didn't know that.
81. Now, Mad Max, I did love that movie. Excellent film. I'm gonna have to go with James Gunn. I love George Miller's pick. If I didn't do James or George Miller, I'd go Quentin Tarantino. I think as far as the dialogue and the banter between the Suicide Squad, he would write a script.
And you make it rated R, and you just
that's it. Let him loose. So, but man, now I'm convincing myself now. So now we got a Mexican standoff here. I guess
I'll go Tarantino. I'll drop out.
I know you love Tarantino, Alfie. So all right, so Tarantino, James Gunn, all right, you're fired, darling. So I'm gonna go Q. I don't know how to spell his name. Forgot how.
QT.
Yeah, that looks right.
I got it. All right. Tarantino. Okay. Tino. All right. So, all right. Next up, we're going, I think it's like this. Next up, we're going The Joker, an original. Now, these are all original films. We're not going to pretend that what's likely going to happen, James Gunn's going to move on and they're going to reboot the whole thing.
Reboot.
So, because my whole notion is go get Christopher Nolan. Whatever you got to do, give him $500 million and give him the keys. All right. So
he's already said he's not going to do any more comic book movies.
Yeah. Listen, you know how many times I've heard that, and as soon as they give him the call and they give him $500 million.
Listen, I said I was going to stop eating dairy, and here we are.
I said I was going to stop drinking soda, and here we are. All right. So here we are. Okay. The Joker. I already know my pick.
Pick me.
Pick
me.
DC, go. Who would you pick for an original Joker film. And you know what? Let's throw a wrench in it. Who would you pick to play the Joker?
Ooh, you got to give me time to think about that.
We just hit the hour mark, just so you know.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So I'm kind of, as you can see, I try to play to my strengths here with these directors. What do they do good? This character, how would this character kind of fit the director?
Right.
And I would bring somebody back who's already kind of stepped into the DC world. He did 2 Batman movies. One of them is probably top 2 of my favorite Batman movies of all time. And that's Tim Burton. I would bring Tim Burton back to bring kind of a more modern take on a very dark kind of, have that kind of like that Killing Joke vibe if you've read the comic. So Tim Burton, I would tell him, hey, listen, make it dark, make it weird, and I'd even hint of a little bit of Batman in there if we're gonna do like a whole universe starting from scratch. I don't want Batman to come out because it's a Joker movie. We got to focus on the Joker, but I would make it kind of like a little bit of a origin of Joker, but not too much of an origin because I don't want to bore people to death with another origin story. But yeah, that would be my choice. Tim Burton in my DC Dream Director for that movie.
Who's playing the Joker?
Okay. I've told you this before. Oh my God, Jesus. The guy who played the Hobgoblin in Spider-Man.
Willem Dafoe.
And
he played Green Goblin.
Sorry, Green Goblin.
Okay. Alfie, who do you got directing and starring?
It's a little older Joker here. Definitely going to be an origin story if you're making Willem Dafoe the actor. Tim is great. I think I was thinking of him for Batman. Or Superman. Sorry, because I don't think he ever got to do it with Nick Cage. I think that got canceled. But that'll be a great pick. And I think I would make it an origin story. I wouldn't just because it'll be hard to do not an origin story without Batman being involved in any way. I think that would
I just said just kind of very light on the origin. Maybe get a younger actor who plays him in the beginning, but then show him in modern day as the older, already kind of messed up, Joker, and obviously older. I think he just has a perfect face and the smile, that big smile that he has for the Joker.
Yeah. I'll probably cast Zendaya as the Joker or something like this. They're in everything.
Yeah.
But Tom Holland is
and then just have Denis Villeneuve directed.
No. I can't think of an actor right now that would be like a good origin type Joker, man. Off the top of my head, but that would be a great, like, if it wasn't an origin story, Willem Dafoe would be dope. That would be cool to see him do that.
Why can't we have an older Joker?
If it's going to be an origin story, it can't be like the beginning of
no. I mentioned not going too hard on the origin. I mentioned just kind of touch on it a little bit, as to how he's so, messed up. Okay, and then obviously come back to modern day, as the Joker, and But yeah, that's it.
Alfie, you can't think of anybody?
Bro, honestly, no. I'm hurt. Like I just did 10 hours of work. All
right. We'll speed it up. So I'm gonna say David Fincher, directing, and I'm gonna say as the Joker. It's hard because I would pick Daniel Day-Lewis, even at his age. At 60.
He's younger than William, though, right?
He is. I think they're like the same age, but
maybe a little bit.
He's 69 now.
What?
Yeah, he's 69 years old.
Fuck. We're getting old, man. I think that's what's happening. I keep forgetting that these guys age with me, and I'm still picturing them in their 40s. And
Willem Dafoe is 71. So I don't know, man. I mean,
he still has it.
I think he could pull it off. He just did a movie a year or two ago, and he looked good to go to me. So, I mean, Ian McKellen's 86. He's about to play Gandalf.
Yeah.
So, you know, and
With modern
Magneto
medicine,
again. You know
modern
what?
medicine, it's like age is not the same.
I'm going David Fincher from Seven and Fight Club and Social Network and all that.
That would be a
And
good one.
and starring Daniel Day-Lewis as the Joker. Alfred, you have to pick who's the winner. Tim Burton with Willem Dafoe.
Hmm.
You gotta pick. You're not picking against Daniel Day-Lewis, so
I
know you're
can't
not.
pick against Daniel Day-Lewis,
can't.
man. He's like the greatest actor of all time that I know of.
Yeah, I remember me and DC, we had this discussion.
Hey, yeah, no, I mean, again, you're talking about one of the, if not the greatest actor to ever stand in front of a camera. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. I pick Willem Dafoe because, and I've told Danny this, and not to take too much time more on this so we can move on, but I'm very much about, you know, when you put on the makeup, do you look like the character? You know what I'm saying? When you put on the cowl, do you look like Batman? One of the reasons I wasn't like, oh my God, over the moon about Christian Bale as Batman was he didn't look that good in the suit. He really didn't. Why do I love Ben Affleck as Batman? This guy's an amazing chin. Have you put his Batman next to the comic, it's like they literally took the comic and then just pasted it into the movie. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's just so much more believable. And what do we do when we go to the movies? We want to be kind of, you know, transferred into that world, for lack of a better term, you know?
Yeah.
So
Heath Ledger had like mild, you know, like the smile stuff, you know, like the prosthetics.
Yeah. He had the little prosthetics, but
yeah,
his thing was just he did such a great job.
It's the greatest. It's the greatest.
You know, it's not even so much that he looked like the Joker.
No, exactly.
He just did such a good job portraying him. You know,
man, what a loss! What a loss that was.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Alfie.
What do we got? What are we on?
You got to pick.
Oh, I already picked you, Danny. I mean, I can't go up against.
Okay, we're going David Fincher.
For a Joker. That's a good choice.
Yeah, it's a really good choice for a director as well.
Nah, playing if Daniel Day-Lewis, if that news broke, forget about it.
$1 billion.
That'd be a good movie. It'd be a very dark and gory Joker too.
And Seven, if I recall, like the character, the villain in that movie is kind of like a Joker type, you know, mentally.
Yeah.
In that case, yeah.
Yeah, they're a little bit messed up. All right, Wonder Woman. Let's bang these out quick because we're getting past the time here. Wonder Woman. Who would you have direct Wonder Woman? I don't even know.
Patty Jenkins.
You already did.
Yeah.
I'll give you. Listen, I'll give you a quick one.
But don't do 84.
Go.
It's just because I'd love to see this guy do anything, and he's responsible for arguably my favorite trilogy of all time, The Lord of the Rings. But I'd try Peter Jackson in this kind of Themyscira world, and you know, make it very grand and Peter Jackson.
All right, Peter Jackson. It is. Boom. All right, let's finish off with the big two. Batman. Okay, Batman. We already know Christopher Nolan. I'm going Christopher Nolan.
We're bringing them down. We gotta bring them down. Yeah.
DC. Sorry, you're gonna have to save your guy for the next one.
Yeah. All right. No, DC. I'm gonna go with my last two guys. Okay, for these last two, I'm gonna go Batman. Daniel Trachtenberg. Okay, the guy who directed Prey and Predator: Badlands. Two of my favorite sci-fi films that have come out in the last 5 years, I'd say. Yeah. Prey was in 2022 and Badlands was last year. Love this guy, love his style. Okay, this guy has an awesome, just badass filming style. He's like a man's man kind of director, no bullshit, you know. And he goes in there and he makes a good film. I think he'd be a great, you know, director. And I'd actually want to see a comic adaptation of Batman versus Predator, believe it or not. I'd love to see that.
Just a real quick, I want Batman. I would actually, you know, obviously Nolan's already done it, so if we were to give someone else a shot here, the guy who directed, I forgot his name now. He did Shang-Chi and Spider-Man, The Brand New Day.
Daniel Cretton something.
Cretton. Yeah, there you go. I with the action sequence and the hand-to-hand combat fighting, bro, that would be perfect. That would be actually really cool. I would like to see that.
Yeah.
But,
All right, cool. So we're going with Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and put that
Probably.
there. Here we go. All right. And now Superman, the controversial one.
Zack
Alfie.
Snyder. No, I'm kidding.
Nah, Alfie, first up.
Are we
go.
going? Are you guys going?
No,
Snyder?
I'm not including him in any of this.
You can include him.
No.
He doesn't want the chat blowing up.
We gotta finish this up. If
I
not,
was
we'd
thinking
be
about
here
Burn.
another hour.
What?
I was thinking about Burn just to do it because you never got a chance to with the Nick Cage, like I said before.
I don't think Superman fits the Burton bill. Like he makes very weird, dark kind of, gothic, movies. I see him more like in line with the Batman world. I'll be right there.
Yeah.
Wait, 1 second. Close the door. 1 second. You could cut that out.
All right, it's fine. Go.
But no, listen. Yeah. Why Tim Burton? Why Superman?
I see a different take. We've seen Superman in every which way. We've seen him dark. We've seen him light. We see him heavy. We see him playful. Just try it out. He's got like villains and stuff that probably fit Tim's style.
Oh, I know.
Like
I know what. Okay, go ahead, DC.
You okay?
What?
Go ahead, DC.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, yeah,
Alfie's
Superman.
going Tim Burton. DC, go ahead.
Okay, I'm going Joseph Kosinski. All right.
Oh wow. Okay.
The guy who did Top Gun Maverick, the guy who did Tron Legacy, he did Oblivion. Very movies under the radar, right?
Yeah.
He did
Make good
F1
flight scenes. Be cool.
I mean,
All right. That's
my top 3 director right now, Joseph.
go
Kosinski.
ahead. I'm gonna agree with DC. We're going Joseph Kosinski.
That's good. I like that.
Now, wait, we're almost done. We got one more, and we'll be out.
Uh-oh.
I know I don't know how to spell his name. Kosinski. I think I got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it.
All right. The one I picked for this is the one we're going with, but I'll let you guys talk.
Oh shit! The
Go.
actual Justice League.
Damn, I would have saved one of my guys for that.
I didn't know you were
Go
gonna do
ahead.
Justice
Go
League.
ahead.
Look at DC. Fucking Zack Snyder.
He's gonna
No,
go
he-
Zack Snyder.
No, I mean he already came out with with the Justice League movie, and I loved it. So I would actually give it to someone else. I don't know who I would give it.
What
to,
about for
but
this IP right here?
Pac-Man?
Pac-Man?
Is that Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Okay. You know what? I got one.
Go.
James Cameron.
Okay.
I was thinking James Cameron.
Alfie.
That's very
Go
good.
ahead.
Off-world type. I like James Cameron as a pick.
I
That's-
think you
that-
send the Justice League to Apocalypse. James Gunn knows
Like an
how to do
Avatar
stuff.
type world.
He knows how to
Yep.
do things on Pandora. And
Pandora,
you just
mhm.
you just make it a
It's a very good pick.
huge sci-fi, just fighting doomsday on Apocalypse. Where'd Danny go?
Oh, we lost Danny?
No, he's still there. He's got to be here.
No way.
No, he
No
has to still
way.
be here.
Oh
He has
shit!
to
Because
go
I don't know.
back
I
in.
don't know how to save this because we just did all this. If he's not
No,
here.
there he is.
No, I'm here.
Oh.
Sorry. I'll leave it in.
We got James Cameron in. That's our pick. I think.
That's who you guys pick?
Yeah, I
What do
mean,
you-
it's
what do you
either
got?
him or I'd bring back George Lucas.
Or what? Or what's up? We doing this right here.
Steven?
What's up?
Nah.
Come on now.
The little spur?
Yeah.
He did.
You want to go James Cameron? We'll go James Cameron because now he's looking. He's looking now. He's done. with Avatar. Yeah, he's already kind of done.
Yeah, he said he's done. Right? Was his last one?
Hey, look, the majority wins. You guys won, so he's going in.
That'd be awesome.
There it is, guys.
Take him
Guys,
off world.
that's gonna
All
do it for today. That's our DC Dream Team directors. Listen, for that group of directors, all you need is like $1 billion in payments,
Yeah.
and you're good to go.
You'll make it back in one movie.
All you
Yeah.
need is $1 billion and give them 10% of each of their movies, and you got them. Man, that is quite the team right there. Holy
Listen,
smoke.
I think at least 2 of those on that list is not out of the realm of possibility. I think Joseph Kosinski would love to do a Superman movie again if he's allowed to do it without any, studio interference. And I think Robert Zemeckis is also a guy that you could even convince to come on board.
Quentin's done.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's gonna do it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the end there. We got more of that stuff. We have more of that kind of content where we build teams and we argue and we vote. I think that's more, it's more entertaining. It's more fun. Thank you for joining. Like, subscribe. I know this is our longest video up to date. DC Boy, check out his channel, DCBOII. It's a gaming channel. He's going to be posting more often now. He's just been busy. And then go check out Alfie for Fun Show on Instagram, for Fun Show, talk sports, whatever, all that kind of stuff, movies. Thank you for watching. I'm out.
Later.
All right, guys.